Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Joe.
Oh, what up, Mark?
How's it doing?
It's doing. We're watching damn video game movies, so you tell me how it's going.
Hey, we're a solid 1 for 3. 2. I don't know.
Well, 1
I don't
for
know.
3 previous this week. We don't know how either you or I feel about the movie we watched this week, which was Max Payne from 2008, starring Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis, as well as Beau Bridges, Ludacris, and Chris O'Donnell. It is based on the video game series Max Payne. Have you played Max Payne?
I think I played the original, like on the OG Xbox or 360. Yeah. I don't know.
It'd have been OG Xbox or PlayStation 2.
Yeah. I actually don't remember what I played it on, but I remember playing it, and I remember it being not a terrible game.
Did you finish it?
I don't fucking remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because
if it's anything, if I finish it and it's anything like this dumbass movie we watched, fuck it.
Whoa! Don't tip your hand. Don't tip your hand yet. I guess it doesn't matter. I pretty much figured you'd hate this, but I have also played Max Payne. But there's this nightmare sequence in the game that afterwards I was like, okay, that's enough of this, because it creeped me out. And I know several people who have had the same experience with Max Payne.
Yeah. I mean, that's good that a game does that, right?
Yeah. That's
good storytelling, or good set
atmosphere more than anything. Yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna give you my top 3 gripes with this movie, and then we'll.
How about your top 3 good things?
Okay.
Let's start off positive before we go into the shit whirlpool.
I didn't hate the setting of the movie.
Okay.
Kind of Gotham-y New York. Didn't hate that. I did not hate most of Mark Wahlberg in this movie.
Okay.
I very much enjoyed Olga Kurylenko, who I think got this is kind of one of her first movies. She kind of catapulted from this to, This is her launch pad, is what you're saying? Maybe. I could be misremembering, but
I don't think anyone watched this.
No, but
you can't launch pad from a movie that no one saw.
Maybe. I don't know. I enjoyed looking at her in this movie.
Okay, so it wasn't her performance, it was her body.
Yeah, no,
and not her body of work.
You're right. She's an attractive lady, so yeah.
I will.
What about
tell
you? All right.
My 3 favorite things.
For sure.
One, I think you talked about the setting, but I actually think from a visual perspective, this movie's actually pretty interesting. Now, a lot of
that's a good word to use it. Right?
Well, I mean it in a positive way. I think it is.
Okay.
It's not unappealing to look at.
Okay.
I think a lot of it, though, is because it is heavily drawing visually from 2005 Sin City.
Okay.
Now, Sin City obviously is much more highly stylized, but there is an element of that sort of noir nature to the way the movie is presented.
Sure.
The second thing is Mark Wahlberg as an action star is usually pretty good. And I think in general, he does a normal Mark Wahlberg job. I really don't like his acting when he has to actually act. See The Happening, which he was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Actor for The Happening, but apparently Max Payne was he was nominated for both roles for Worst Actor, I guess. But I think in this movie, that's a little harsh. He's in a dumb action flick, being a dumb action lead. I'm fine with it. The third thing I liked.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Was a lot of the action sequences I thought were pretty decent. They were somewhat forgettable, but against some of the action, along with some of the stylized things, there was one point where they're trying. So Max Payne, the video game, is known for popularizing bullet time, which is when your character and the scene slows down, but your ability to control your character doesn't. Right. And in this movie, there's one scene in particular with him in a shotgun where I think they're really trying to push that bullet time thing. If you remember the Doom movie with The Rock, where they have that scene where Carl Urban goes first-person shootery, not as heavy-handed as that, but still notable. I think anyone who hadn't played the game would just, look past it as it being some sort of artistic flourish. Whereas when you watch Doom, it's pretty much, you have to be like, what is this, based on a video game? Like, I think people would get there. But those are my 3 positives, and now I'm ready to hear your 3 gripes.
My 3 biggest gripes.
Your biggest gripes. You have more than 3 gripes.
For sure. To, kind of comment on what you said about Mark Wahlberg here, I'm not a fan of, like, this early Mark Wahlberg. I think he was trying, this is still him trying to figure out what kind of actor he wants to be. And I just don't think this style of movie or acting really does him any favors, because he's very wooden here, I think. But there's certain scenes where I'm like, okay, well, he's playing brooding pretty well, I just, I watched this with my wife, and you
brought your wife into this. Okay.
Yeah. She's like, what movie are you going to watch? And I was like, I'm going to watch Max Payne. She's like, I don't think I've ever seen that. And I was like, I don't know if I have either. And she's like, well, you want me to watch it with you? And I was like, it's a trick question.
Well, how is that a trick question? I guess you're not allowed to say no. You're like, nah, get the hell out of here. You ain't watching this shit.
Right. Then I'm like, well, maybe she just wants to watch shitty movies. I don't know.
Man, that's my thing, man. Throwing on a shitty movie it's healthy.
It's like that's foreplay for you.
I'm pitching a tent watching shitty movies.
So anyway, we watched this movie, and she's like, when was this movie, man? I was like, God, it looks like 99, 2000-ish. And then when you said 2008, I had to go to the IMDb page and like make sure that was right. This movie looks old as fuck.
I don't think it looks that old. Then there's a lot of like, I can't say it looks like a 90s film.
She even asked me, she's like, was this before 9/11? And I was like, yeah, it might have been.
Really?
Yeah, I just like,
we predates 9/11.
We both thought that like this movie was made, and a lot of that, I think, and honestly, if I had thought about like Mila Kunis,
right,
being that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
no, it doesn't.
But no, because one of the things I did like about this movie was the set and the set design, and just that gothic feel to it. But like, man, Beau Bridges is terrible.
That is the least surprising twist. I mean, they foreshadow that turn.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of him being a bad guy so hard.
I just don't know why they didn't just make him the bad guy from the onset.
Yeah, that was rough.
But like, the acting across the board is pretty terrible all the way across. Ludacris is god awful. Mila Kunis, like, she gets like 5 words in the entire movie, and Chris O'Donnell's terrible. I was like just blown away by like the level of bad acting, and even like from somebody like Beau Bridges, who's a very veteran actor, and is not a bad actor, I don't think, in any stretch, but all right, so that's one of my biggest gripes. Other biggest gripe, this fucking ending, bro. And then like the last 10 minutes of the movie where like they tell Mark, the director here, John Moore, he's like, "Hey, Marky Mark, why don't you just do weird shit for the last 10 minutes of this film? Drink this weird blue shit, and then just fuck shit up and like Hulk out and like just scream, and we'll have like kind of a CG background, and that'll be terrible looking, but don't worry about it because everybody will be focused on your bad acting."
You think that's how the conversation went?
I almost assure you that's how the conversation went.
Double down, okay.
No, it's the ending was kind of all time bad here, and so one thing I learned about Tubi watching this movie, because we watched it on Tubi.
Yep.
That it's got a little function where you can skip the end credits and go right to the mid-credit scene.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's the first.
Because I did have to tell you that, because I know you don't wait through credits unless it's specifically a Marvel film.
Right.
But I have this kind of rule where if the credits are stylized, usually you're safe to wait through that portion until you get to that sort of standard scrolling thing.
Yeah, but like, I'm thinking this is an early 2000s film. I was like, nobody did mid-credit scenes in early 2000 films. But anyway, Tubi popped up and was like, "Hey, skip the first credits," or whatever it said. And I was like, that's a dope feature. Anyways, third biggest gripe is, I know we watched this on Tubi, and Tubi has ads.
Yes.
But this movie felt 3 fucking hours long. and it's not because... It was an hour 40. I know, but like it's not because Tubi inserted 3 ads into it. It's because there's just chunks of this film that just drag and like just have zero purpose. And like I don't understand Olga Kurylenko's character, even though it's a way for maybe Mila Kunis to tag along with Mark Wahlberg through the movie.
That's really what it is. It's
right.
What brings them together to...
But
they don't really work together that much. They work together a little bit, but it's not like they join up. But it is Max Payne, and he is supposed to be the lone deal.
I didn't understand how, like, why certain things happened in this movie. And like I get it, the hallucinations with the angel devil things. But I didn't really understand like their purpose of anything. I just like a lot of this movie, it was just happening, and I'm like, okay, like I didn't understand why they killed off Donal Logue's character, Max Payne's old partner.
Yeah, I've always liked that actor. I really liked him in what was Gotham?
That
where he was played Bullock.
Yeah.
I always really enjoyed him as Bullock.
I like. There's just a lot about this film that I'm just like, why is this person here? Why did we get a whole 5-minute scene of Max Payne's ex-partner, who's played by a recognizable face, and we're meant to like understand that he serves a purpose, like he's investigating Max Payne's family's homicide, and like Max Payne has this thing against him because he doesn't think he's doing enough to solve it. So like that's an interesting dynamic. I could have enjoyed a movie like that kind of focuses on that dynamic and Donald Logue's character being maybe an anti-hero or whatever. But like 5 minutes later, they kill that motherfucker.
Yeah, he dies unceremoniously.
Like off screen. like I'm just like, why did we even spend any time with this man? And it was for pure exposition. That's it.
What did you think of the angels and this whole? So, did you feel like the angels were really there, or were they? I mean, we find out that they're really just a hallucination of this drug, but it wasn't quite clear yet until you get later on in the film.
Yeah, at first I thought like maybe Max Payne had some weird supernatural ability. And then when the company lady is explaining, or I don't know who it was that was explaining how the drug works or why they stopped making the drug. And we learned that
I didn't understand the plot of this film. Like,
no, because there's nothing. It's there's no plot.
There's parts I understood. Max Payne is looking for the guy that killed his wife and child. Right. That's a straightforward plot. Honestly, it's probably all you needed. But they added in this thing about this pharmaceutical company, which does tie in to why his wife is dead. But is part of that, they have to include this whole sequence with the character Jack Lupino, who is thought to be Mark Wahlberg's, Max Payne's wife's killer. Wait, yes.
Yeah.
That sounds right. But anyway, and that kind of sequence of having the detective portion of it, which this is a noir film, so it makes sense that there'd be a detective portion, but I don't enjoy the detective work in this film. It doesn't feel that particularly basically the detective work boils down to recognizing a tattoo. Oh, that tattoo and this tattoo are the same. That must mean that that's the killer. That's the detective work. Like there isn't any uncovering of clues, and you get the feeling that this murder happened a while ago, and it's just now clicking. I mean, I think the murder of Natasha has that tattoo, but that's such a weird thing. And so what I found ridiculous, if I'm going to have one big gripe, it's when they go to the tattoo parlor and they're like, you ever seen this tattoo before? And the guy is an expert on Norse mythology. Like he has a giant book that he could pull. He's like, yeah, you don't know what that is? It's fucking Norse. And it's said to protect blah, blah, blah. And he goes on a whole thing. And I'm like, just at the tattoo shop, this guy knows this stuff. Thought that was weird. But is he an expert? I don't know.
I mean, he kind of looked like a Viking.
But does he know all the damn history of all the different tattoos that are available in the shop?
Listen,
that's my question.
I got a lot of tattoos, and like I go to a guy who knows shit. So if you're gonna go get a tattoo, go to a guy who knows his shit.
So that's a fair point. So when you go to your tattoo guy, see what he knows about Norse mythology.
Okay.
I'm just curious. Or ask him about whatever tattoo and see if he pulls out a tome of history and goes into great detail as to what that tattoo means.
I'm going to see him in a couple weeks. I'm going to be like, hey, you ever seen this movie Max Payne?
And he's going to be like, the fuck? Who watched that? Just losers watch that. He's
yes, actually
true.
He's actually a listener of the podcast. So,
hey. That's nice.
But I'm gonna ask him and be like, "Hey, man, you ever see?" I'll pull up a picture of the tattoo on my phone and be like, "Hey, tell me about this." And then he's gonna pull out his tome. He's gonna tell me about
this. He's gonna be like, "Well, what you gotta understand is." It was just a weird sequence, and it made me laugh. Like it was just so bad, it was a good moment to me. Like that. There's the tattoo artist is this wealth of Norse knowledge. I thought it was funny.
I mean, where you least expect it, right?
So what are the takeaways?
I also didn't understand why the ex-army guy. I mean, I get it. He's like addicted to the drug, but like, why is he chopping up people? Like, I didn't understand
because he's fucked out of his head with the drug. Like,
right, but why did he chop up?
I was kind of into that character because in a lot of ways he's pitched in the beginning portion of the movie as the villain, right? He's the guy,
right.
He killed her, you know. And at the end of the day, he's really a victim of this pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Where he's lost his mind because of the drugs. So I had no real issue with his storyline other than the investigation to get to that point was so slow and, you know, and fucking Beau Bridges tipped his hand so much as to him being the bad guy. I knew he was the bad guy like right away. Like first like 10 minutes in the movie, they go to his office and he worked previously for this company who has this feathery logo, which looks a lot like the tattoo on the guy who killed and all this other horse shit. So it was like, oh, he's going to end up being the bad guy. And what do you know? He was. It was not everything needs a twist. And if you're going to do a twist, try to make it so it's not so easily predictable. But it was so formulaic that it was just, I just sat there waiting for the eventual, here it is.
This movie is weird. One, Mila Kunis just walks around with a fucking Uzi strapped to her.
Just to the grocery store.
Right. Like she pulls up in like towards the end of the movie to the pharmaceutical building and like kind of just like leaves her car and like she makes us like look back at it like she's like, oh, that's a nice car. And then she's like waiting for the elevator and she just pulls out this Uzi from her jacket and I was like, the fuck? You were strapped with that the entire time?
Yeah. You just got to have an Uzi on you.
That's wild. It's so, like, I didn't understand why her character, like, we got zero story about who Mila Kunis is.
Well, she's the sister of the person who died. You get this feeling she's like a mob boss. That's how I felt. Like
right.
She
No,
kind of had
you
a group of guys that worked for her.
But like the audience never get any type of just not even a little backstory. We just know that she's Olga Kurylenko's sister and she is somewhat invested now because her sister got chopped up. And it's like, okay.
Who chopped her up? That's the thing that got me. I guess, was it the Lupino guy?
Yeah, it's Lupino. I mean, everything happens.
Why did he chop her up? I guess he was crazy. I don't know.
Right, but he was. I don't know, man. This that's why. Like, I'm just like, there's somewhere in this movie is a halfway decent one. It's because there's enough threads here to be like, okay, I can take this one, and I can take this one, and we can kind of tie them together. And we can pull it in a bow, and we have a passable film. But no, they just like they took a bunch of threads and they just like kind of threw everything at the wall, and they based it around this premise of Max Payne, the video game. But honestly, I don't remember anything other than like certain like the bullet time you said,
and that's barely in the movie, and really the plot of him losing his wife and child, which is just the Punisher, right? So it's not exactly new.
Right.
So there's this very much, you could have called this the Punisher, and if
be like an origin
the character
story.
Frank Castle, and it would have just been the same thing, right? Except, you know, that's what the movie is. It's just a formula of basicness, and then it is wrapped in kind of an interesting looking package. At least in my opinion, I thought it was kind of visually at least engaging. There were some pretty cool shots at certain moments in the movie that I thought were framed really well. But it really just boils down to not doing anything new. And that being said, I've seen worse video game movies than this.
We've seen worse video games movie this month. But, like,
yes.
this one, like, I felt like I was
Monster
watching...
Hunter is worse than this.
Yes, I would agree. But, like, I'm watching... And I think really why I dislike this one so much is because, like, I can see little bits and pieces of a decent film in it. And I'm like, why didn't you just tell that story? Or why didn't you expound on this? And it's just like, that frustrates me as a movie watcher, is because it's like, if you had just watched your own film before you added all the CG effects in it, you probably would have picked up that, hey, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Let's just go more this way.
Or you went, hey, it's a fucking video game movie, just shit it out, which I think is probably more accurate.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I felt like I was watching a real bad Zack Snyder film here.
AKA a Zack Snyder film.
Right.
It does. That is a good comparison, is it does have some Zack Snyder feel to it.
Well, a lot of the slow, I mean, it's the slow-mo for
and
me.
And it's the
really
grayscale, right? Like, this whole thing is everything's washed out.
Yeah. So it's just like, it felt like that to me, and I'm like, shit, if I want to watch a bad film, I'll just watch a Zack Snyder movie. And like, I don't know. This one frustrated me because it felt super fucking long. And like, at different points, I'm just like, why are we in this moment in this film? Like, I didn't understand why, I didn't understand why Ludacris was here. You could have gotten any black actor.
Whoa.
You could have. You didn't have to get Ludacris. Ludacris sucks as an actor. Anybody. No, I'm saying you could have gotten a different black actor to do a better job than Ludacris. He was quite obviously cast in this film because he's Ludacris. And if you're gonna do that, then why are you casting anybody?
Yeah, just don't cast anyone.
Make it a movie
with nobody in it.
No, just make it like
don't cast anyone. Fucking hell, just shoot the scenes.
It's probably a better.
Don't
movie.
Have actors and shit your movie into theaters. That's what you're calling for.
It's a better film. That what you're describing is a better film than this. The longer we talk about this film, the more I dislike it.
That's a sign of a true piece of shit. It really is, because there's been many movies where I was even like kind of maybe even edging towards positive, and then we've talked about it, and my opinion of the movie's gone down.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's gone down on this. It's about what I thought. It's not the worst thing I've ever watched. It's not good. It didn't bore me too much, which was nice, I guess. There was gunfire in it.
I didn't understand the whole SWAT team at the end, just fucking murdering everybody.
Well, they work.
They work for
the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, but they're all cops, and like.
You tell me, you're the cop.
I don't know.
You work for the pharmaceutical company.
I wish they'd probably pay me more.
So what you're saying is, you're up for sale. You ever get pulled over by Mark?
Offer me a job. I don't know. But it's just, I didn't understand that whole, the action in it was fine. It's funny.
Not amazing though. None of it was no. Cool.
No. You're right.
But there was, gunfire is at least loud, which keeps you from falling asleep.
Yep. And I didn't understand Bo Bridges telling his lackey guy to, hey, here's some C4. Go blow this fucking building.
Yeah, that was weird. There were a lot of weird things that, I don't know.
So,
but at the end of the day, what I want to know is, do you recommend Max Payne?
Fuck no, man. This movie's terrible. This might be a bottom 5. I don't know. This whole month might be a bottom 5.
Bottom 5. We got about 6 to 10 movies on the bottom 5.
It's going to be hard. We have to set a limit on how many movies from this month we can pick in our bottom 5.
Yeah. I mean, Monster Hunter.
Terrible. What other one did we watch this month? This is the third. All right. So, we watched this one, Monster Hunter,
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
I picked this trash.
Yeah.
And then what'd you pick?
What are we watching next week?
No, because there's another one. You picked another movie I didn't want to watch. No, you picked Pikachu and Hunter.
No, I didn't pick Monster Hunter. Did I?
Yeah, you fucking picked Monster Hunter. Don't try to put that shit on me, Ricky Bobby.
Anyway, do you recommend this movie?
Hell yeah, this movie kicked ass. The other movie we watched was Tomb Raider. No, this
Tomb Raider, that's right.
Is not worth watching. It is what bad video game movies are. Uninspired schlock. And I know that we've discussed Mortal Kombat before on another podcast, but every video game movie I watch makes me appreciate how great that movie is comparatively, just for being original and interesting.
I'm to the point of just like, don't adapt video games to film. Just don't do it.
I agree, because even like, I know a lot of people like the Mario Brothers movie, but in my opinion, it's honestly not that great. Like, it's fine.
I think it was more a cash grab than anything else.
Well, I don't know that I would go that far, although they did grab a lot of cash. And it's my son's favorite movie. Yeah. But for me, it was too much video game. Hit the blocks, but
I mean, it was well done. It was well done.
Yeah, and it looks great, but I can't say it's, to me, like Mortal Kombat, it's a good movie. I know that you disagree.
I just think you really like that fucking late 80s, early 90s, martial arts hand-to-hand combat film.
That is undeniably true.
Right. I think ultimately that's why you really enjoy it, but you also are nostalgic for Mortal Kombat, so I don't know. It's a perfect storm of like, these are all the things that I like, and which is fine.
Jack Black was in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And he has now starred in another video game movie, which is getting rave reviews. Mm-hmm. It's blowing up the box office. God, it's called Borderlands, based on the Borderlands series. And we're going to try to watch this next.
I hope, honestly, and it's not that I don't want to record like right after we go watch a pile of flaming garbage. It's just like, I'm afraid this movie's not going to be playing.
When we go to see it. Also worried that is the case. Should we call an audible?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I do think
we've done it before.
Yeah, we've done it before, but like, I don't.
Mostly because you picked a Van Damme movie that doesn't exist,
and also because you picked Sling Blade, which also doesn't exist.
This is true. Nominated for Oscars, yet no one has seen it. It is not available to watch.
I don't know. Okay, I don't think we can make that decision yet to pull an audible. What we can do is have a solid backup plan.
Okay.
Which I'm open to the suggestion.
Okay. Let me look at my list, because my first thing is like, we could watch Hitman, but I just think that would be more of the same shit we just watched.
And I think Olga Kurylenko is in that one.
Is she?
I think so.
I'm checking.
Yeah, she is.
She is. She is in that. Fuck me.
And that was Hitman was made before, and she's like one of the main stars in Hitman. And she's
so Hitman is her launching pad.
Okay. No, I don't want to watch that.
I don't know. We'll figure.
Even
it
though
out.
I'm a big Timothy Olyphant fan. So.
Oh, I am too. I like him.
I think we can't, like, there's no way I'm spending money to go watch a bad movie I don't care about, because, like, I haven't really read any reviews to Borderlands. I know of the Rotten Tomatoes score that it has.
Twitter is very angry about it. So
no, and I've been avoiding, because I know, we plan to go watch it. I've been avoiding a lot of that is because when I read reviews for bad films, it taints my how I view it, is because I just find myself going, oh, I knew it was going to be bad, and it sucks. So I kind of want to go into it blind, but I also think that it's going to be it made like $7 million its opening weekend. And when films do that terrible, they typically spend like 2 weeks in the theaters. Yeah. And then they go straight to VOD. And Twisters just went to VOD. And that came out just a month ago.
Right.
And that made a shit ton of money.
So I just went on to the local theater's website and I clicked the first possible day we'd be able to watch this.
Yeah.
And it does not show as available.
Right.
While other films are available.
Okay.
So
all right. So we pull an audible.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the movie theater and watch it.
We can do. I mean, we can record here at the Draft House. I mean, we can rent it. We can watch a different film.
If it's available to rent by the time, but it won't be, because it'll only be available to purchase.
Oh, that's true. You're right. That is.
I'm thumbing through. Oh my God. We could watch Assassin's Creed.
I haven't seen it.
Or Rampage. Have you seen Rampage with The Rock?
I have, and that at least would be entertaining, because I like The Rock.
What is Werewolves Within? That doesn't
Who
sound...
knows?
I've never heard of the game. Uncharted. I haven't seen Uncharted. What about Uncharted? You had shit your pants, but
Uncharted's not bad. I wouldn't mind watching that. I've seen it, but I wouldn't mind watching it again.
Or okay, how about this? I'm gonna pitch this.
Okay.
And I think it's probably the best idea. I say
Do
we
not
watch...
say Mortal Kombat.
No, we've already reviewed Mortal Kombat. Although, if you had pitched it, I would have said, yes, absolutely. But when I tell you my idea, you might wish it was Mortal Kombat. I say we watch the first ever video game movie.
Which is?
Super Mario Bros. Starring John Leguizamo.
Are you?
And Bob Hoskins.
Are we just we both acknowledge that movie's bad?
I haven't seen it in ages.
I mean, I haven't either, but
it might be the greatest film ever made. It's not. I like how long that pause was. Don't edit that down. But what are our options, man? We can watch Dead or Alive.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
A lot of boobies in that one.
You haven't seen Uncharted.
Fine, we'll watch Uncharted.
You come over here, we'll watch Uncharted in the Draft House, and
We'll draft
fine.
some shit. What are we doing next month?
I don't even fucking know. What's on the
next.
Oh, it's is it Scary Month? No,
not
September.
yet. We're going to September. We got to decide our theme for Scary Month. I wish it was Scary Month. Oh my gosh. Where's my draft house one? There it is. Okay. So we did American history and video games. So we don't have anything on the list. I swear there was something I was wanting to watch with you, but have. Let's say September.
We could do movies, not biopics. I mean, I guess they would be biopics, but
No.
But like movies based on either bands or musicians. Like it doesn't have to be an actual like real band. It could just be fake band or.
But then I'd have to pick one of my all-time favorite movies that I know you probably wouldn't like very much, and it would
That
make
Thing
me
You Do?
sad. I love That Thing You Do, but that's not the one.
Oh, which one is it? Oh, don't tell me.
Spinal Tap. Have you ever seen Spinal Tap?
Maybe. If I have, it's been such a long time. I don't know. I don't know.
You wouldn't like it. I can't with you.
We could do another actor month.
We haven't done an actor month in a while.
Yeah.
Who inspires us? Who do we want to watch 4 films from?
Mel Gibson.
Let's do an actress. We haven't done an actress in a while.
Okay. All right.
Because we've done Nick Cage, Van Damme, McConaughey, and Ricci.
Yeah. Okay. So
Let's even this out a little bit.
Name your 3 top actresses.
Helen Mirren. I'm blanking on her name. Furiosa. What's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
The original.
Oh,
Theron. Charlize Theron.
Okay.
I mean, I love Christina Ricci, but we've already done that. And Sigourney Weaver, I guess. I'm having a hard time thinking of my third. There's probably someone else that's in there.
Okay. I'll name my 3. Let's go Julia Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And third one. Emma Stone and maybe Halle Berry.
Okay. So how do we narrow this down now?
Okay. All right, so we can go based off of like who's got the biggest filmography.
How about you pick one of yours?
Okay. And you pick
I'm
one
personally
of yours.
leaning towards Charlize Theron.
And I would lean towards Emma Stone.
Both of those are good options. So
I agree. Both of those are good options. And I'm good with either one. So
well, if I have my choice, I want to watch Charlize Theron movies.
okay, all right.
But I like Emma Stone a lot.
How about this?
Okay.
How many weeks are in September? 4?
4.
Okay.
You want to draft one of each?
No, you have to draft Emma Stone films, and I have to draft Charlize Theron's films.
Now, this is a good concept for us. For us to maybe... I like this, because if we ever have a headbutt again, we can agree on the theme, but then the other person gets, I like it.
Okay.
I like where your head is at.
Listen, this is what happens when we run out of shit to talk about, and we just have to brainstorm on the fly.
I know, that's a great idea. So I will pick some Emma Stone films.
Okay.
and you will pick some Charlize Theron films.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out what we're going to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we'll draft. I mean, you draft 2 and I'll draft 2.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I already know one of them.
Okay. Please look at her filmography before you pick.
I already know one of them. Don't worry.
What else is a great idea is to hit the subscribe button when it pops up, so you don't, if you're watching on YouTube, so you don't miss any future content right here on our podcast. If you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content on any of our social media platforms. And if you want to follow Jeff on Twitter and tell him, hey, man, you got to pick Emma Stone, not Anya Taylor-Joy films, you can find him at Podcast by Jeff.
I don't like Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't know. I was
thinking they kind of look alike, except Anya Taylor-Joy.
No, God, how dare you?
Are a little farther apart.
Listen, all right, I'm not going to insult anyone, but
I didn't insult her.
From an acting perspective, I would much rather watch Emma Stone films. I think 1,000% of the time.
I agree. Taylor-Joy is a pretty good actress, though. So
to each their own. But if you want to get in touch with Mark and find out what else you can bribe him with when he pulls you over, you can find him on Twitter at I Heard You Liked.
It's money. It's all. Don't bribe.
It's usually money, right?
Other than money.
Oh, man, another
kidding.
Good one.
I'm kidding. Anybody that listens to this that actually knows me, I'm kidding.
We of course are kidding.
Disclaimer.
We would not accept bribes.
Joke.
I mean, everybody's got a price, to quote the $1 Million Man, but
yeah, apparently his was $1 million.
Well, no, he had $1 million and he would buy other people. You watched wrestling in the 90s. Come on, man. I guess that was more 80s.
It was. Anyways, Jeff, any last words?
Nah. No thanks. What are we watching? What movie are we watching next week? Oh, yeah, Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah.
That's my last. I'm out of here.